Hi everyone, here we are with two candidates to discuss follow up questions that are expected in August 2023. So let's start. What are some of the common kitchen appliances in your country?
There are various kind of kitchen equipments which are used by Indian, for example, coffee maker, induction, dishwasher, and many more.
Is there an appliance that you find difficult to use?
Yes, when we bought microwave for the very first time, there were a lot of features in it which I find quite difficult to use.
How can one learn how to use a piece of technology?
People can learn how to use technology from internet, or they can get knowledge about it from the trainer from where they have bought it.
Do you think the use of technology has made people overly reliant on it?
Yes, definitely. In the earlier time when people used to do work by themselves, they used to remain fit and energetic. But nowadays they are more reliable on on the technology. So I think they have become more lazier now.
What are some of the advantages of technology?
There are various kind of advantages which are enjoyed by the people while using the technology, as it helps in saving their time which they can utilize for other activities. Moreover, technology can do the task more accurately and quickly as compared to the man.
What are some of its disadvantages?
Well, as I have mentioned in my earlier question, nowadays people are more reliable on the technology. So this is the main disadvantage that they are becoming lazier day by day.
How do you see technology evolving or improving in the future?
I think that in the future, technology will improve more as compared to current scenario, because it helps the people in doing the task with more accuracy and in less time.
Next topic is unusual meal, and the questions are, why do people like to eat out in restaurants?
I think it is mainly because of the trend nowadays. People are following Western culture, so there's a trend in Western culture that they eat food from outside. So, following that, nowadays Indians are also preferring eating food from outside.
What things attract customers to a restaurant?
There are various kind of things which fascinates the consumers towards a restaurant. For example, offer or various kind of meals which they can enjoy in the restaurant instead of enjoying it at their home, because they cannot cook it themselves.
What difference is there between homemade and restaurant food?
Well, the homemade food, there are things which are at the home available in the home, whereas in the restaurant they use new recipes and new techniques to make a food, and they also decorate it in a very different way, which attracts a customer.
Do you prefer home cooked food or restaurant food?
As I'm a health conscious person, I prefer to eat the food which is cooked by my mother at home.
Do you believe that home cooked meals are healthier than restaurant food?
Yes, definitely, because we know what ingredients we are putting in it and we can also change it according to our taste. But with the food that we eat in the restaurant, we don't know the ingredients and the recipes, so I prefer the homemade food.
How has restaurant dining changed in your country in last 10 years?
Dining area or dining facilities has changed in the last 10 years a lot, because in the past people shared a large table which were of antique style, but nowadays modern style has been adopted by the restaurant owners.
Okay, next topic is advertisement. Do you think such advertisements are bad for children?
Well, talking about advertisement, it is the best way to give knowledge to the others, but sometimes advertisements are putting a bad impact on the market. Such as, for example, like the tobacco ones and the drugs related advertisement, they put a negative impact on the youngsters mainly.
Okay. Do people usually buy products after watching advertisements?
Well, it depends upon the people. Some those who consider the advertisement in a significant manner, they usually fascinated by the advertisement and they get ready to buy the product after watching it. However, the adults who have much knowledge about the product, they think twice before taking such kind of decision.
What is the purpose of advertisement?
The main purpose of giving an advertisement by any company is to cover a large area and to give them knowledge about their product, what they have launched, so that they can attract more and more customers.
Why do you think there are so many advertisements now?
There are various kind of advertisements which are advertised by the advertiser, because they want to introduce their product in the market, because they think that this is the best way to magnetize the customer towards their product.
How do advertisements attract attention?
The advertisement shown by the companies attract a large amount of customers, as whenever a person see a new product launched, they get attracted towards it. They get influenced by the techniques used for the marketing. So eventually, they go for buying it.
Okay, next topic is expensive gift. What is the value of money to you?
Money is very important for me because as I'm a part-time worker, so I know how I earn the money by doing hard work. Therefore, I give much importance to it.
Where do people learn the value of money? At home or in school?
I think home is the best place where one can learn how to value of money because such subjects are not taught in the school.
Do you think children should be taught how to manage money?
Of course, it is the core accountability of their guardians to teach them how to utilize the money in an effective way by telling them what is the significance of hard-earned income.
Is it important for people to learn to save money?
Yes, definitely it is important for people to learn how to save money because when we save money in future the money will save us because sometimes we are not aware of the emergency situation that we can face in the future. So in that case the money is the only thing that can help us.
How much of its budget should a country spend on education and health?
I think that while spending a budget on a specific thing, the legal body should consider all the aspects carefully so that they can take a wise decision before utilizing the funds. But a significant amount of budget should be spent on the education so that every can get the benefit of learning.
Should a country spend money on arts?
Well, it depends. If a company is fully developed, they can spend money on arts. But talking about my own country, which is a developing nation, so the government should have main focus on providing healthcare facilities and education facilities as compared to providing art facility to the citizens.
What is the effect of arts on young people of your country?
These days art have a great influence on the youngsters because they think that they can build their career in art by doing painting or dancing, as they think that this is the best way to connect the people with their culture.
Okay, next topic is talk about a time when you complained an issue about an issue and it was successfully resolved. When do people usually complain?
People usually complain when their expectation doesn't match, when they are expecting something and the result doesn't match with it. So they complain about it. For example, when we order something from online but we didn't receive the desired product, then we complained about it.
What type of things do people usually complain about?
There are various kind of things which people are not happy with the services. For example, when they buy the product or when they get services from any store and they feel dissatisfied, at that time they usually raise a question or raise their voice against that thing.
Do you think it is better to complain verbally or in writing?
I think written complaint is better because it act as a proof, whereas the verbal one is not doesn't act as a evidence.
What kind of people usually complain?
The people who have short tempered, who consider the things up to the mark, when they expectations did not match with the receiving product or the receiving thing, at that time they raise their voice.
Who is more likely to complain, young or old people?
I think younger ones are more likely to complain because the elder ones are still satisfied with the things they get, but the youngsters expect more.
Okay. Is it important for a company to have an easy process for customers to make complaints?
Yes, I think these days technology help the company a lot in resolving the complaints of their customer. They usually like to give the feedback form or star or rating like facilities to their customers so that they can listen their complaints and resolve it as stitch in time saves time.
Can we also add in like they can have a different email for receiving the complaints?
Of course. What are some good ways for companies to resolve customer complaints?
I would suggest the same that they should have a different email for receiving the complaints so that they can solely focus on it.
In what ways can companies use customer complaints to improve?
Company can improve the customer's complaint by taking feedbacks from them and try to resolve them in an amicable manner by hiring the customer care help desk executive so that they can act as a bridge between them.
Next topic is about rule. What rules should students follow at school?
Students should be punctual, they should obey their teachers, and there's obviously a dress code in every school, so students should also follow that.
Are school rules good or bad?
School rules are good for the children because it helps them in making a good person in the future.
What kind of rules should children follow at home?
They should follow the rule of obeying the elders, as same they follow in the school by obeying their teachers.
How do people get punished for parking in the wrong place?
I think that heavy fine should be imposed by the traffic control board so that people can learn about how to park their vehicle at a right place.
Next topic is a person you follow on social media. That's an old topic. And discussion questions are what can people do on social media?
They can get a lot of knowledge on the social media as there are several news reporting channels made by the news reporters. Apart from that, they can also use social media for their entertainment purposes.
Do you think older and younger people will use the same social media?
These days, elders as well as youngsters are used to use the same kind of social media applications. For example, was WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram for social interaction.
Do senior citizens spend more time on social media these days?
Yes, nowadays senior citizens also use social media such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and WhatsApp.
Do you think non social media like television, newspapers are still valid?
Well, social media has taken the place these kind of equipment, so people do not pay much attention to such kind of things as they are highly influenced by the WhatsApp.
Okay, next topic is language. Do you think language learning is essential?
Yes, obviously, language learning is essential because everyone doesn't know the native language of every speaker. So, they should have a common language, for example, English, which is used to communicate with the foreigners as well.
What kind of difficulties do people face while learning a language?
There are various kind of obstacles which are faced by the learners while learning a language, such as a vocabulary, how to pronounce the word in an accurate manner, moreover, how to use the word in a correct way while expressing the ideas.
What is the best or most effective way to learn a new language?
They can learn it from any sort of institute, and if they are a quick learner, they can also learn such things from internet as well. But I personally would like to learn a new language from the person who is native of that land.
Which method is better? Study alone or study in a group? And why?
I think learning in a group is an effective manner to get the knowledge about the specific concept because it helps in clearing the doubt rather than studying in an alone.
Okay. Next topic is skill you learned from an older person. What can children learn from their parents?
The biggest thing that they can learn is having a patience, because nowadays my generation doesn't keep much patience when they are talking or teaching new things to others. They are short tempered, so they can learn this skill from the elder ones.
What skills can young people learn from their grandparents?
Young people can learn various kind of skills from their grandparents because in the past grandparents were used to do the things manually, so they can teach how to cook the specific dish in a traditional way without using the technology.
What kind of help do you think the elderly need?
They nowadays need how to learn a technology, so the younger one can always teach them how to use a phone, how to use social media, and how to do other things as well.
All right. Next topic is countryside place. So the question is, do you think the countryside is more peaceful?
Of course, countryside is more peaceful than the city because the countryside is an area which is pollution free area as people can live in a natural environment by enjoying the beauty of the nature.
Is there something special in countryside of your country?
Yes, the most famous, there is a one most famous religious temple in my countryside area, which people of cities also visit.
What do people usually do when they go to the rural areas?
When people go to rural areas, they like to roam in the fields so that they can enjoy the greenery.
Do you think in the future more people will live in rural areas?
Well, it depends because nowadays there isn't any trend of shifting, but mainly people prefer living in city because of the facilities the city can provide.
Okay, next topic is tourist attraction you have visited. What types of artifacts do people buy at tourist attractions?
When people visit various kind of tourist attractions, they like to buy the local products of that place so that they can keep it as their memory.
Why do people like to be photographed while traveling?
And the main reason of clicking a photograph or capturing that moment is so that they can relive the moment again by watching the same photograph.
Is it okay for locals to sell things to tourists?
Yes, because it helps them in earning the money so that they can survive in the inflationary era in a smooth manner.
What are the pros and cons of professional travel camera?
The pro of having a professional travel camera is that one can record a video in a very professional and in a HD manner. But main con is that it is very expensive, that everyone cannot afford it.
Secondly, it's difficult to carry it everywhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the next topic is recent development in your city. Why are there some restrictions by government that apply to developments?
There are various kind of restrictions which have been imposed by the government because government think that these are unnecessary because people's demand can never be ended up, so they think if it is necessary only then that development can be made.
What are the consequences of not following these restrictions?
Well, one can suffer a lot by disobeying the rule made by the government because government is a body which have a lot of power, so they can impose heavy fine on them and can punish them for disobeying them.
Alright, this is the end of this session. Thank you.